becoming famous and making a lot of money. That's the whole plan because I need a lot of money for these American kids of mine who are so expensive.
Was licensing Badtameez Dil most of your budget?
Yeah, $70,000. More expensive than DDLJ.
In like a white dominated space, being so like different, often othered, it's like kind of own the label a little bit more when you're like, well, yeah, I'm weird.
Oh, I'm a big fan of your videos. I've been watching you, it feels like, for years.
Hi, there is a brand new movie that's coming out. It's called A Nice Indian Boy. It's been directed by Roshan Sethi and it stars Karan Soni, who you might know as Dupinder from those Deadpool movies, and he also played Pavitra Prabhakar in those Spider-Man movies. Jonathan Groff is in this film, who you know from Mindhunter. Zarna Garg is making her acting debut, and there's also Sunita Mani, who's this brilliant performer. Harish Patel is in this film, Ibu Hatela. I spoke with some of the people related to the movie, the director and 3 of the actors, and this is an interview with them. It's really sweet, really wholesome. Keep A Nice Indian Boy on your radar because the world is going to shit. Aag lagi hui hai duniya mein bahar. You need a sweet little rom-com to feed your soul. This is that food. Check it out.
Good to see you, Karan. Hi, Roshan. Good to finally
Hi.
meet you.
I know, I'm a big fan of your videos. I've been watching you, it feels like, for years, so it's great to meet.
You're very sweet. I'm a big fan of your film as well. You guys made such a lovely film, and I'm so happy that I get to talk to you. Congratulations on the release. Finally, it's happening. I've been hearing about this film since South by Southwest last year. Congrats, you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Roshan, sabse pehle tell me this. Was licensing Badtameez Dil most of your budget?
Yeah, $70,000.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
it was the most expensive song in the movie. It's more expensive than DDLJ. Why is that? It doesn't make any sense. We spent more money on Badtameez Dil than we did on Tujhe Dekha. Like that should be expensive. But
Indian music streaming has turned into this whole like behemoth over the last few years. So I thought I'd ask you, and I knew this is what you would say, that there was the
yeah,
most
it was
expensive figure to
but
budget for.
years ago we tried to option Sheila Ki Jivani, and I thought it would be like 50, 60. I didn't think it'd be anything crazy. And we finally got through to the right person at Tips or T-Series, whoever represents the song, and they just wrote back 250,000. I was like, what?
I know.
So I
I think
guess
we
that's-
replied and we were like, rupees? Question mark. And they were like, you wish rupees.
See, I'm just gonna go and make another film in that much money. Ladies, you all made a really fun film. I enjoyed it very much. I just spoke with your director and your lead actor. They're so pookie coded. Oh my God. They're so cute.
They're so
But
cute. The
Aren't
best.
they so cute, Sucharita? Aren't they like so freaking adorable?
Obsessed with them.
Yeah.
and they're
So happy
and
for them.
they're a couple. They're in love. It's just perfect. But another person who's so pookie coded in this film is Harish Patel. Zarna,
Yes. Yes.
Indians who've grown up in India have
Yes.
seen Harish Patel pop up in like every second thing that was on our
Yep.
TV all the time.
Yeah.
Andaz apna, and he's the most infamous for playing a bad guy, Ibu Hatela, in this cult film that is famous for being terrible called Gunda. But in your film, Harish, who plays the father, he's so sweet, he's so pookie coded. Zarna and Sunita, talk to me about working with Harish. Zarna, we can start with you.
You don't want to hear the truth, Sucharita. You
Why?
really don't want to, please don't, let's not go there. He's actually, I will tell you, the guy is a genius actor. The minute
Yeah.
the cameras came on, he knew the lines, he knew the moment, he knew the emotion. He was like, the camera would come on and it's like he's lit up and ready. I mean, he
It's
had
so
written in
true.
a dance scene. I
His
think
timing is amazing. Yes.
and he knew everybody's lines, not just his own lines. He knew everybody's lines. He would be like, I kept forgetting my lines and he would remind me like what was happening. But then once the camera went off, he was the classic Indian uncle slurping tea, dunking his glucose biscuit.
Completely.
Literally, it's like 2 people, Jekyll and Hyde, working with him. But
It's so
what
true.
an honor to have him in this movie because he really is that good. He's really very good.
Yeah.
Well said.
Watching Instagram videos on full volume, don't care who's sitting in the room around them. Daddy vibes.
Especially if people are sitting around them.
कर होता है दीवाना सा नाम
Wow.
yeah
Boys, what is it about DDLJ that mild-mannered white boys who like Indian people romantically enjoy so much? Like my husband watched DDLJ and he's a white man from New Jersey. And he just walks around
Oh,
talking like Amrish Puri randomly. I'll
oh
walk
my
into the house and
God.
Amrish Puri is sitting in my
He's
living
like
room.
feeding pigeons and yelling and
Mm.
Bauji. It's wild. What is
Wait,
it about DDLJ, Roshan?
well, the movie is based on a play which was based on DDLJ. So the movie's structure and the play structure are copies of DDLJ. The first half falling in love, the second half negotiating love with the family. So it is like could not be more related to that movie, which we obviously all grew up with. And there, you can find any random Indian on the street in either America or India, and they'll know what DDLJ is. It has a level of ubiquity that is like there's no American movie even that's like that. So we, it's in our DNA. I don't know what it is about that movie that makes it so popular, but I think part of it is that it combines those two things, love and family, in a way
Yeah.
that feels very intuitive to people within our culture. And then just that it has it all. It has love, it has an action scene sort of randomly at the end. It has amazing songs.
I would say white boys, to answer her question, love it so much because white people love Switzerland. I think it just makes you feel safe.
Maybe that's what it is.
You see
Yeah.
those cows, you see those beautiful hills, and you're like, okay, I can watch some brown people run around here. So by the time they get to the India part, you've Switzerland has neutralized you a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite Shah Rukh Khan movie, Karan?
Yes, Kalo Ho Na Ho, very simple, easy for me. My
Why,
favorite.
Kalo no?
At the point when I watched it, I was still living in Delhi, and it just had like a big effect on me. And I watched it like 3, 4 times in the theater, and I don't know. That was the one that really got to me. I've seen it 50 times probably at this point, but
It's like a near perfect film.
exactly.
Roshan, on a more serious note, there is something so radical about A Nice Indian Boy in how simple the storyline is, right? Two people meet, they fall in love, there's a little bit of conflict, but not that much. And then it's happy, it's wholesome. Do you think the simplicity in itself is its own statement with this film?
Yeah, I think it's actually deceptively simple because it's juggling so many characters and so many plots, and it's actually looking at three different relationships, Karan and Jonathan, but then Sunita and her husband, and then their parents. And it's looking at
Yeah.
love from these different angles. On one hand, you have a love that's falling apart, on the other, a love that is nascent, and on the third, a love that has never really been examined, that has been around for so long that they both in some ways take it for granted. So it by making it easy to follow, though, and allowing it to flow in natural, intuitive ways, I think that just helps the audience. The other thing is, I do think we're also accustomed to the structure of a rom-com. And the movie, even though it doesn't feel subversive and doesn't feel like it's denying cliches, actually has a very odd structure for a rom-com. Because normally you would never let the central couple get together by the end of Act Two. You would wait until the very end of the movie. But here, all of their conflicts stop and they are together for the entire third act of the movie. And it's not about them, it's about the rest of the family. So it's a very odd structure for a romantic comedy to go from how are these two people going to be together to here's a new problem. Obviously, it's set up, but the originality of that structure is partly what drew me to it. It's very hard with rom-coms because audiences come for the cliches, but at the same time don't want them. So they're like so confused and conflicted. And I thought that the script and the play did an amazing job of balancing both what audiences crave, but feeling like
Yeah.
something new.
You're so right, because I kept waiting for Karan's character to like wake up from his dream. Because
Yeah.
when everything just sort of, they go to the bar and they hit it off, and like he's awkward, but he's not fucking it up. And I was like, this has to be a dream. Like this, it doesn't work like that in rom-coms.
I never said anything to you about music.
Are you telling me I'm wrong?
Sunita, I saw you first in one of the most iconic music videos of all time, Turn It Down for What, which is, I mean, goes without saying, it is one of the best music videos ever made. But I feel like every time I see you pop up in something or the other, you're always like making trouble, which I love watching. I love a girl who likes to make trouble.
Yeah,
Please, can you
it's
tell
in my nature.
the women who are watching us right now, why it's okay, and in fact, it's good to play women who are weird, quote unquote.
Oh gosh, it's so boring otherwise. Not, I mean, like you gotta gotta make some space for the weird girl. I think there's also a uh you know in like a white dominated space being so like different or often othered, it's like you kind of own the label a little bit more when you're like, well, yeah, I'm weird. And I don't know, you get to have fun with it. I think there's a lot of like release and freedom to just to shake it up and play with the unexpected. It's also like my nature is very playful and mischievous. So there is like kind of I can't help it.
I love watch you be weird, and especially if you're being weird with the Daniels. Nothing like it. I
I
just
it's
love
like
it.
not even weird to me. It's so just the way I've operated for so long. And they're some of my dear friends. Like I met them in college and I've just grown up in this kind of alt comedy space where like the weirder the better. And if everyone's weird, then it's normal. So we're all pushing each other to just bring each other out. And so I felt very encouraged to let my freak flag fly.
Zarna, congratulations on your acting debut. This is the first time we're seeing you act as a fictional character.
Incredible.
But your show was just announced a couple of months ago, and the announcement, I would paraphrase a little bit, accompanied this line that now that your children are all grown up, it's time for you to focus on your own American dream, finally. What does that dream look like for you, Zarna?
Becoming famous and making a lot of money. Yeah. I'm not even going to beat around the bush. That's the whole plan because I need a lot of money for these American kids of mine who are so expensive. They're so expensive. God help me. What was I thinking? You know, having 3 kids, it's like taking a shot in the dark. What are the odds one of them won't suck?
Yeah.
It was like a mistake all around, but now you got to live with it. You know what I mean? Um, but
Yes.
being a part of this movie was not for the money. I'll just tell you that right now. It's an indie film.
Yeah.
Right?
No money.
Sunita knows. We
Do
all
us a
know.
favor.
No,
Right.
it was a labor of love. Honestly, like who wouldn't want to work with Karan and Roshan? First of all, they're the sweetest,
100%.
nicest, cutest guys ever. And I just have to say this in every interview. Roshan is a cancer surgeon. You know, the best of the best of the best of being Indian. And, I'm just happy that I'm in his orbit.
Yeah.
The amount of
Absolutely.
medical advice I've gotten from him, I think I made up for whatever fees I would have missed.
We like having a doctor friend for the free medical advice. So we can WhatsApp
Exactly.
them in the middle of the night and ask them what medicine to take.
I don't even know. I don't know. I missed my flight and didn't know what to do. And I was like, you know what? Roshan's going to know. Text him.
When he's like giving you advice as a director of like, yeah, maybe we can speed it up or what, you have your director's notes. And then in the back of your mind, you're thinking like, you deliver like cancer diagnoses for a living.
Yeah.
So like it's just like an amazing perspective he brings on set where it's just like, it makes it so easy because it's like, we're just making a movie, guys. It like brings a lot of like fun and buoyancy and like, yeah, no wrong answers kind of on set because yeah, it's not cancer.
Yeah, and plus, like, he knows what he's doing. Karan, when you approach a character like this, he is Indian, he is in the medical profession. How do you stay away from making it a stereotype?
Yeah, well, so much of it is the medical part was actually added by Roshan when we reworked and worked on the script. And it was actually because Roshan is also a doctor. And part of the reason why Roshan was able to stay in the closet, I think, if I can speak for him, till much later in life and come out in his 30s was because in medicine, no one actually wants to know about your personal life. You're supposed to kind of be invisible. And sort of Roshan describes it as you put on the white coat and then that's it, you lose your personality. So originally the character worked in like a different job. And then when he was working on the script, he was like, I think it needs to be a doctor. And in a way, it actually wasn't stereotypical to me because it added so many more layers to the character. Because to me, I saw that as, okay, this kid, this boy did this thing where he's like, I'm going to go into this profession that's going to make my family feel safe because later I have to lay this other thing on them that's maybe not as safe and traditional. So it added that layer. And then also it made it easier for him. He's obviously out in this movie, but for him to sort of be shy and neutral and not kind of be splashy. And so that by the end, when he's dancing, in the final scene with all those colors, it really feels like this full arc of someone who was sort of so neutral wearing white to like wearing this like amazing saffron color and being so explosive. So in a way, it kind of checked everything. It felt honestly more real than anything, than stereotypical in my head. It actually helped me unlock the character more.
I think we should worry less about stereotype actually personally if it comes out of your personal lived authentic experience. So for example, I am a doctor who was forced to go into medical school by his parents. I have very strict parents. Like those things happen to be stereotypical of the Indian American experience and extremely true. I cannot tell you how true in the case of my life. So I think you can't worry so much about the external as you can about what is coming out of you and what you've lived, because everything else is just politics and that has no place in creativity.
One of my proudest achievements in life is orchestrating my big Indian wedding. When I married my now husband, I forbade his
Congrats.
entire family, who are all New Jersey Caucasians, from purchasing their own Indian clothes. I was like, I will purchase everything
Wow.
from Chandni Chowk, shout out Meenakshi Creations. And
Yeah.
I dressed everyone myself, right? Mother-in-law, sister-in-law,
Incredible.
brother-in-law, cousin. The wedding sequence in your film, it looks so great. Are you, Sunita, I'll start with you. Are you proud of what you've managed to put on screen vis-a-vis Indian fashion in this film?
I am obsessed. I watched the movie again recently and I'm like, we look so good for being an indie too. The budget is an indie budget, but we got such quality things. Like the textures, the colors, it's just beautiful visually. I'm so proud. I loved my saris. I loved my like everything I was wearing was so gorgeous. Yeah, I'm so proud.
Zarna, same question to you. Indian fashion in the
Same.
film.
Same. I mean, I think that they did such a good job being authentic to the script and
Yeah.
being the best version of it with the outfitting that it was great. And it was a very challenging thing for them to pull off because the shoot was very tight in a limited amount of days. We were all in Vancouver, like everything had to move fast. And
Yeah.
Indian clothes are complicated. It's nothing moves fast, nothing is off the rack. So shout out to our costume design people who like
Yeah.
went crazy over and above making sure that everything was edited
Completely.
and fitted and it was great. It
Oh
was
my gosh, our fitting. Oh, it was so fun to get to go to like get fitted at like we were all in a wedding and like in the
yeah.
wedding party. It was amazing to be like tailored to the nines and like the turnaround so fast. It's like a favor for us. Yeah, it was incredible. Also to get the right balance where it's like
Yeah.
people show up and show out for an Indian wedding, absolutely. But it needs to look real too, not just glossy for fashion's sake. Like it
Yeah.
was a really, I thought like a beautiful, authentic experience, and getting to be like a Marathi bride was beautiful. I loved
Yeah.
it.
Watching A Nice Indian Boy, at the risk of sounding dramatic, Roshan, made me feel safer.
Oh,
Now,
good.
is that a feedback that you normally get from your audience for this film particularly?
Well, I think people feel held by the movie because it is so interested in the South Asian experience, but not at the exclusion of anyone else watching. It tested highest among white women, for example, not among Indians. But at the same time, it clearly like represents and includes part of our experiences.
I'm so happy to chat with you, not just about, being Indian in the United States, but about a film that you made that
Yeah.
opened at a giant festival. And listening to you talk right now that this film is rated highest with the white women means that this is DDLJ for white women. You've
Yes,
Yeah,
done
it is.
it.
It's their
we've
DDLJ.
done it.
This
Yeah.
white woman messaged me and said I've seen it 3 times. She saw it twice at South by, then she traveled to another festival to see it a third time. And I was like, it's her DDLJ.
You've
But
done it.
I think partly people are looking for movies that make them feel happier, that are about love and acceptance and belonging and family. Nobody wants to go to the theaters for a dirge at this moment because there's so much that's controversial and contentious going on outside of all of our houses. So that's partly why people are just looking to feel like more joyful.
I'm getting messages in the background that I need to wrap this up now.
Okay.
It's just such a shame, but I guess I feel like we're just getting started.
We're just getting
Um,
started, yeah. We should connect offline. It was so great meeting you.
let's do it. All right. Good luck with the release, you guys. I'm so excited. It was such a happy film. Congratulations to
Oh,
both
thank
of
you so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Congrats on the film finally hitting the theaters. So fun, and
Very
I hope it does
exciting.
really, really well.
Sucharita, thank
Thank
you so
you.
much for supporting our movie. You're so sweet. I love what you're doing. There's so few women like you doing it. I love what you're doing, and thank you so much for supporting us.
Thanks. Let's all become friends now and like go to some gay bars in New York City.
Amen.
See you there.
Yeah.
Thank you
Bye,
so
ladies.
much. Good to meet
Bye.
you.